Imagine waking up tomorrow with the ability to perceive hidden layers of reality, to glimpse the unseen forces shaping your life, and to tap into a wellspring of intuition you never knew existed. What if everything you thought was solid and fixed could bend and shift under the power of your own inner vision? If you're curious about unlocking that potential, go ahead and hit that like button now, so we know you're ready to journey beyond the ordinary. Across cultures and centuries, mystics and sages have spoken of a gateway way to higher perception, often called the third eye. It's said to sit right between your eyebrows, waiting to be awakened. In Hindu tradition, this center is known as Ajna, the sixth chakra, the seat of intuition and clairvoyance. In Buddhist art, you'll see it as the urna, a single dot on the Buddha's brow, symbolizing transcendent sight. Even in ancient Egypt, the Eye of Horus stood for protection and the ability to see beyond the physical. Imagine what it would feel like to harness that same power, to pierce the veil of illusion and see truth in everything around you. Opening your third eye isn't mere fantasy. It's a journey that blends ancient practice with modern insight. By learning how various civilizations interpreted this mystical center, you'll gain clues for activating it in your own life. Picture yourself in an Egyptian mystery school, surrounded by hieroglyphs and sacred symbols, as priests chant mantras designed to stimulate that inner vision, or envision sitting on the banks of an Indian river, practicing pranayama breathwork until you feel a subtle vibration between your brows. These practices weren't random. They were carefully honed over millennia to refine human consciousness. Long before science had MRI machines, enlightened traditions understood that a tiny gland deep in the brain, the pineal gland, might be the biological counterpart to the third eye. Shaped almost like a pine cone, it bathes in cerebrospinal fluid, unshielded by the blood-brain barrier. Inside, cells called pinealocytes mirror the light-sensing rods and cones in your retina. Some researchers have even found calcite crystals within, with piezoelectric properties that generate tiny electrical currents. Could it be that this small organ is wired for inner vision? And what about the discovery of dimethyltryptamine, or DMT? A compound with potent visionary effects that some believe the pineal gland produces in extraordinary moments. Birth, death, or deep meditation. If you're intrigued by the idea that your biology holds the key to mystical experiences, drop a comment below and share what resonates with you. When you begin exploring third eye activation, one of the first tools you'll encounter is meditation. Rather than drifting off, this form of meditation requires focused attention right at the point between your eyebrows. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and let your awareness settle. Notice the ebb and flow of thought without getting caught in it. Then gently guide your mental spotlight to that inner point. You might visualize a tiny orb of indigo light, pulsing with each breath. Over time, that light grows brighter, and you may begin to perceive subtle images, flashes of color, or even intuitive insights that feel like whispers from a deeper part of yourself. Another powerful method comes from yoga's ancient breathing techniques, pranayama. In alternate nostril breathing, you use your thumb and ring finger to close one nostril at a time, inhaling through one side and exhaling through the other. This balances your body's energy channels, or nadis, and stimulates the pineal gland. Practice for a few minutes each morning, and you might notice your dreams becoming more vivid or waking moments peppered with small intuitive hits. That whisper of, "I should take a different route," or "this person's energy feels off." These are the seeds of third eye perception sprouting in your daily life. Chanting mantras is another timeless technique. The sound OM, sometimes rendered as AUM, is believed to carry the vibration of the cosmos. As you intone it, your entire body vibrates, and you can feel resonance in your head, activating the region of the third eye. You don't need to chant for hours. 5 to 10 minutes a day can be enough to open a channel for subtle energies. If you've ever felt the hairs on your arms stand up during a group chant, You've touched on the power of collective vibration to amplify inner sight. Of course, modern science offers its own perspective. Researchers have measured melatonin production in the pineal gland and found it regulates sleep cycles. They've identified trace amounts of DMT in animal brains, sparking debates about whether humans produce a similar psychedelic brew in peaks of spiritual experience. While definitive proof remains elusive, the correlation between pineal activity and states of expanded awareness is tantalizing. It suggests that practices which stimulate this gland, be they meditation, breathwork, or even safe supervised sensory deprivation, might unlock latent capacities within us all. Halfway through this exploration, pause for a moment. If you found any of these ideas inspiring, hit subscribe and ring the bell. That way, you won't miss the next deep dive, where we'll reveal advanced visualization techniques and share guided third eye activation sessions. Let's dive back into the wisdom of ancient Egypt. Initiates in the mystery schools underwent rigorous training in philosophy, astronomy, and spiritual rituals. They used sacred symbols, like the Eye of Horus, to focus their minds. Some ceremonies incorporated carefully prepared herbal blends that induced altered states under strict guidance. While we don't recommend experimenting with psychoactive substances on your own, these historical accounts remind us that questing for higher sight has always been about disciplined practice, ethical intention, and communal support. Moving east to India, the Vedic texts describe the lotus of 1,000 petals blossoming at Ajna. Yogis practiced asana, hatha yoga postures, to purify the body and direct energy upward through the chakras. They combined this with mantra, mudra, hand gestures, and guided visualizations of deities whose eyes symbolized all-seeing awareness. For them, activating the third eye wasn't a gimmick, it was a sacred responsibility. This inner vision guided their decisions, informed their art, and fueled their compassion. In the Buddhist tradition, the third eye aligns with the practice of vipassana, or insight meditation. You observe sensations arising in the body, tracing them back to their roots. Over time, mental patterns dissolve, and a clear lens emerges through which you perceive reality without distortions. The famous Zen practice of zazen, just sitting, serves the same purpose. Without fixation on images or concepts, the mind becomes still, and spontaneous visions or intuitive flashes can arise naturally. As you weave these practices into your life, you'll likely encounter challenges. Impatience is almost universal. You might sit for weeks without any noticeable experiences and wonder if it's all a waste of time. That frustration is normal. Instead of judging yourself, treat each session as a gift, a chance to ground in stillness and set loving intention. Over months or years, those small moments of clarity accumulate until one day you realize reality itself has shifted. Doubt can also creep in. Skepticism about unseen realms is healthy, but let it be an ally rather than an enemy. Approach practices with an open yet discerning mind. Keep a journal of your experiences, no matter how subtle. Track the moments of synchronicity, the sudden insights, the dreams that seem to carry messages. Over time, you'll see patterns emerge that validate your efforts. Life's bustle often steals your focus. Between work, relationships, and responsibilities, it's easy to let spiritual practices slide. To stay on track, carve out a sacred space, literally or figuratively. It could be a corner of your room with a cushion, a candle, or a favorite crystal. Or it could be the 5 minutes you dedicate each morning before checking your phone. Guard that time like a precious jewel. Fear sometimes surfaces when visions or sensations feel intense. You might see shadows, hear whispers, or experience emotions you didn't expect. Remember, these are signs that your inner world is waking up. They aren't threats but invitations to grow. When fear arises, return to grounding breathwork. Anchor in your body. Affirm your safety. Then gently reopen to the process. External influences, skeptical friends, critical family members, or even mainstream science can dampen your enthusiasm. Choose your companions wisely. Seek out supportive communities, online or in person, who share your values. Discuss your practices openly with those who respect your path and can offer guidance or encouragement. As your third eye blossoms, you'll notice practical benefits. Intuition becomes a reliable companion. You'll sense shifts in energy around people and places. You'll make decisions anchored not just in logic, but in a felt sense of rightness. Your creativity may surge as dreams and waking visions blend into new ideas. Emotional resilience grows as you learn to witness feelings rather than be swept away by them. And many report deeper, more restorative sleep, perhaps thanks to balanced melatonin rhythms. None of this means you become infallible or float above the world. Rather, you develop a grounded, compassionate clarity that enriches every aspect of life. You still pay bills, navigate relationships, and deal with stress. But with your inner vision awakened, you do so with greater wisdom and ease. So where do you go from here? Start with small, consistent steps. Dedicate 5 minutes each day to focused third eye meditation. Practice alternate nostril breathing before bed. Try chanting OM in the shower or as you walk. Keep a curious, experimental mindset. Celebrate each breakthrough, no matter how tiny. And if you ever feel stuck, revisit the ancient teachings, lean on supportive communities, or even explore guided meditation courses by reputable teachers. Before we wrap up, one last favor. If this video opened a door for you, support this exploration by liking, commenting your intentions or questions, and subscribing so you can join us on the next adventure. Your engagement helps us bring more deep dive content right to you. Opening your third eye is both a mystical quest and a practical toolkit for living. It invites you to explore uncharted territories within your own mind, to anchor in compassion, and to perceive the world with heightened clarity. The path requires patience, courage, and an open heart, but the rewards can transform your life in ways both subtle and profound. Thank you for sharing this journey. May your inner vision guide you toward greater insight, purpose, and peace. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and keep exploring the luminous depths within.